I've spent an absurd amount of time and money learning sales, success, and personal development. And what I'm going to share with you today could literally save you tens of thousands of dollars. And what we're going to touch on is the hidden driver of sales success and why mindset and skill set aren't enough. So let's dive right in. So, what are the three pillars of performance? And I made a post about this and I had some great answers come in. And yeah, it's great to see where everyone's thinking, but we're going to dive into it and I'm going to reveal it today. So, most sales training only covers two pillars, okay? But there's a third that controls everything. So, what are the two that sales trainings normally cover? So, first off is mindset. So, that's your beliefs, your thoughts, okay? It's no surprise that mindset is one of the pillars. It's also no surprise that that's one that sales training covers. That's become really popular in the last sort of like 18 months or so. It's been around forever, obviously, but in the sales training, the last 18 months or so, it's really sort of taken off. The next is skill set. Now, this one doesn't really need a description. Every sales training is about skill set without exception. So that's like your techniques, your scripts, your methods, different things like that. And then there's the third one. So, what is this mystery pillar? So, the missing pillar, and this is the most important pillar. Without this one, the other two just run dry and you just run in a circle of burnout. And this is your nervous system. What is your nervous system? Your nervous system is your hidden operating system. So, it works below the scenes. So, where does sales performance break down? So, here's what you know, right? Mindset. That says I'm confident. So maybe you've done the work on that and you've put affirmations in place or you've done this belief processing or whatever people are talking about. So you go, okay, now I'm confident. And then your skill set says, right, I know the objection framework or I know this script or you've put this in place, like you've practiced it, you've rehearsed it, you've bought the programs and now you know what you're doing. But if the third pillar, your nervous system says, danger, run, that's what's going to happen, right? This is why I'm going to answer this question for you now. This is why you can know everything that you know and you know exactly what to do, but you still do not execute in the moment to your full potential. Have you ever asked yourself, I know what to do, but I just don't know why I'm not doing it? Hint. And so, why is the nervous system controlling everything? And first of all, before we carry on, there are multiple nervous systems in your body. We're speaking about a specific one, but there are multiple that control different things. The one we're speaking about controls your survival responses. So that's things like your fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. Okay, maybe fight and flight are really common and you know those. Freeze, most of you know what that means. Fawn, maybe that's a new one for you. But all these are your survival responses and they override logic when safety is threatened. So, what that means is they're overriding your conscious thought. So, when it senses danger, rational thinking goes out the window. So, all that work you've put into knowing the frameworks and knowing your mindsets and doing these other things, as soon as it senses danger, all that's gone. It shuts it down so that it can use your body to get out of that scary situation. Okay, and that's just natural. And it also determines your presence. So the tone you speak in, the confidence that you walk in a room with, and the energy that you have, they're all decided before you speak. That's why, when someone's in like a really regulated system and you can feel their presence when they walk in a room, right? We all know these feelings, we've just never known why. So let's talk about what this causes to happen. This is what I call the endless sales training cycle. And this is what not just the sales development world is kind of profiting from, but also the personal development world, right? We're stuck in this cycle. So we start with, let's say, mindset training. So we buy a course on, I'm not feeling confident or I've got phone anxiety or something like that. So I'm going to buy some mindset coaching. And they promise me all these breakthrough results. And then you do some of the work and you feel good. So, cool, I got that. So then now I need to buy skill sets. Like I feel good, but now I don't know how to ask the right questions. So then you buy skill set training. So far, so good. Okay, this isn't bad. And then you've got new scripts, you've got techniques to master, and you're working through that. Then you start to perform well, right? In low pressure situations, this could be role plays, this could be, low level sales roles where you're not talking to as high level individuals or you're not charging so much money. So you're performing well and you're feeling good and feeling confident. Suddenly, everything starts to fall apart under pressure. So then when it matters most, you freeze up. So this could just be when you get on a live call. This could be when you speak to certain prospects that are actually going to be able to piff, right? This could be anything. So then what happens? Oh, well, I'm lacking my confidence, or I fall apart when this happens. So I'm going to buy some mindset training. So then we go into the mindset training again. And then now we're feeling more confident and now we're feeling better. So then we're like, well, of course that script didn't work because it was only for that type of prospect. So now I need to find a trainer that can work with me on this. And we buy skill set training. And this loop just keeps going and keeps going. This is why you have been stuck for years and you've been in every sales training program that you know of, and you're still not hitting your potential, right? The reason this cycle continues is because you're not addressing the real root issue, which is your nervous system wiring. So I've used two words here that most of you have probably heard, but they come in like a similar package often, and that's mindset and nervous system. And now we look at some coaches, and myself included, who used to talk all about mindset, and now we're talking about nervous system. And people are probably wondering, is this just the same thing? What's the difference? So mindset, this is more like your conscious thoughts, right? It tells you what to think, but more importantly, it operates in your awareness. So I will take control of this. I will think this thing. If this happens, I've just got to think harder, try harder, reframe this. It's all conscious work. On the other hand, we have the nervous system, which is subconscious responses. It decides what feels safe to do, and it operates beneath awareness. So you have your mindset, which is in your awareness, and your nervous system, which is beneath your awareness. And in the battle between conscious thought and subconscious safety, subconscious will always win. Now, I speak to a lot of high performers and a lot of people who really want to hit their potential. And a common thread I see among them is, especially people, I was speaking to one person in particular recently who's very, very successful. And what they didn't like as I walked through this was thinking, oh, but if something's happening beneath my awareness, that means I'm not in control. I must be in control, right? A lot of high performers need control. Oh, that's an issue for another day. But the way I explain this to them is, if we look at your body, do you dictate where and how your blood flows? Are you really in control of how often your heart beats or when it beats? Are you in control of how your organs are processing the job that they have to do inside your body? Of course not. Your nervous system runs at that level. So there's things in your body that you are not in control of. This is one of them. We can rewire it. We can recode it so that you have control of what it thinks and reacts to. But if you've not done that, then you are not in control of how it works at all. So let's look at some real life sales scenarios. Your nervous system hijacks your best intentions in critical moments. See if any of these sound familiar. Okay, so I know the script perfectly, but I freeze when the prospect challenges me. I want to push back on that objection, but I soften my tone and I back down. Or I should make more calls, but I find excuses to avoid picking up the phone. Contrary to popular belief, this is not a lack of discipline. I repeat, it is not a lack of discipline. It's survival mode. And as frustrated as you are, there is positive intentions behind survival mode. It is trying to keep you safe. You just haven't recoded what is safe. So, what we can look at is reframing a lot of these blocks, because a lot of these blocks is what tends to lead us into that sales cycle training, okay, of mindset, skill set, and just keep repeating. What you're calling sales challenges are actually nervous system protection mechanisms. So, objection handling fear. A lot of people are like, oh, that means I need to get better at objection handling. But I can promise you, if you've done, whether you agree or not that you should use frameworks or scripts, if you've bought frameworks and scripts that other people are using and they're not working for you, this is the real problem. Your nervous system reads confrontation as danger and it activates defense mode. Basically, what that means, remember earlier when I said that the subconscious wins the conscious every time? If you're in danger and your nervous system reads danger, it shuts down your logical processing. Where is your objection handling kind of stored? In your logical side, right? So basically, when you're in danger, your body shuts down logic and just runs that framework that it knows will keep you safe because it's kept you safe in the past. That could be for anything from trauma just to how you were raised. So now it's going, danger, shut down all logic, get out of this situation, and then we'll be safe. The problem is then you end up not making the sale and losing your money, but your body is going, yay, we did a good job. Okay. Same with this, maybe a price pushback anxiety. Maybe you're fed up of people saying, oh, that's too expensive, and then you're freezing. A fear of rejection in that case could be triggering safety protocols that make you pull back. So again, these fears, these nervous system, danger, not danger, safe, not safe, this is all what's going on subconsciously. You can't outthink this long term. Mindset is kind of like a short burst. It's like an energy, it's like a caffeine hit. It's great and you need it. Or it's like washing, right? You've got to wash regularly because you'll always get dirty again. What we're working at on the nervous system level is a change that lasts forever. And then maybe call reluctance, right? Your survival system associates prospecting with social threat and avoidance. That's one of the biggest threats for humans in the Western world, where at the moment, at least, war and other things aren't that big a deal for us. So social threat is actually one of our biggest fears, being that outsider. So all these, they're not mindset issues, they're survival issues. Your nervous system thinks it's protecting you. When you get to this level, the foundation changes everything because it reverts what we're actually thinking. So at the moment, it looks like mindset that will work for a little while, but it's basically like putting your foot on the gas permanently and then wondering why you've run out of gas in your car. Like, and then you're like, and then you have that down week, month, day, whatever. You refill, and then you're like, oh, I can do it again. And you're just looping this burnout, right? Skill set is basically the same and we're there. But when your nervous system feels safe, everything else falls into place effortlessly. And I can attest to this personally and with everyone that I've worked with. So, first, we want a regulated nervous system. This creates the foundation for peak performance. So many people who are like peak performance, super successful, and at peace in the world, they regulated their nervous system first. Now, some of them, admittedly, did it without realizing that's what they're doing. But anyone who's done it knowing that's what they're doing, that's where they start. Okay. Then, once you've got a regulated nervous system, your mindset is already clear. You're more confident, clarity emerges naturally, and it's not as big a thing that you really have to push into anymore. And then, of course, when you've got those two, you can actually start using your skill set. So these are what we actually need to work on in this order because you don't rise to the level of your mindset or your skill set, regardless what any guru tells you. You fall to the level of your nervous system. Again, this is why you can know exactly what to do, but you just don't do it and you beat yourself up for not doing it, which ironically actually teaches your nervous system that it did the right thing to get you out of that because now you're being angry and frustrated with that situation. And it's like, cool, I did a good job. I got us out of it. It's not a logical thought process, right? It's just a reaction. So stop buying scripts, right? Stop doing all these other things. Start rewiring your foundation because when your nervous system supports you, mindset and skill set stick effortlessly. If you want to learn more about this, follow me, send me a message, whatever you need. This is the biggest thing that you will ever understand and learn about yourself. This is great for sales peak performance, but this is life peak performance. Without this nervous system level being worked on, you will constantly stick in this route and this location and this rotation that you've been stuck in for years, spending tens of thousands of dollars to try and solve it, not knowing why you can't. Well, I've told you exactly why now. Now it's up to you what you do with this.